We talked to Ava Tankersley earlier this week, and she said anytime you get to play in front of these fans, it's a privilege and something that her and the rest of the team don't take lightly. 5 of the top 11 ranked teams fell, including SEC schools such as Alabama, Missouri, and of course, Tennessee. For the Razorbacks, who wound up with the win over the 4th-ranked Volunteers, it was 1999 all over again. The mood inside the arena went a little bit somber. Fans were trying to figure out what's real, what's not real as Eric Musselman left for USC. Troy cuts within 3, but the Hogs don't look back, and that's thanks to this guy. Big Z doing it on defense this time. He had 5 blocks on the night, but it doesn't end there. Later in the possession for 3. He hits it. He finished with 6 tonight. It's rare in sports that any athlete is left without scars. They serve as a reminder for all the falls and hard moments that athletes have to get up from. For the Hogs, it was 2 things. It was a lack of shooting from 3, but it was also the zone defense that Baylor ran that really confused the Hogs, not allowing a lot of easy looks for Arkansas. Conference realignment has essentially dissolved regionality in college sports over the last few years. But with Texas moving to the Southeastern Conference, that does renew a historic rivalry between the Horns and the Arkansas Razorbacks.
I think when I see it now, I have an appreciation for myself in a way.
It was supposed to be a normal spring break for Hare, a trip to Cabo with friends to relax by the beach. Despite getting over strep the week before, Hare still felt something in her body wasn't right.
So I was like, maybe I should go back and see the doctor again, and I did. And she was just doing a normal sick exam and was feeling the lymph nodes, and then felt down my neck and was like, oh, your thyroid feels a little enlarged, we should go get that looked at.
1 ultrasound and a week later, Hare finally had an answer to what was wrong.
I had papillary thyroid carcinoma, and being 18 years old, they kind of said this is pretty uncommon to see it in such a young female athlete. So that was really scary, and it had spread to my lymph nodes as well. I just wasn't really sure how I was gonna go about that, but I think just whenever they were telling me my course of treatment and everything, they were very positive that I was going to make a full recovery, and I had a good prognosis.
The phrase full recovery, a bright light at a dark time. Still, soccer was the only thing she could think about.
That was the scariest part of it too. It wasn't the fact that I was sick or that something was wrong with me. It was more the fact what is this going to mean for the rest of my life? But then I was thinking about what about when I'm done playing soccer and I'm starting family, or is it going to affect that? What is that going to look like for me? Just taking it day by day.
With her family back in Oklahoma, it was her second family here on the Hill that helped her when the going got tough.
It truly meant the world to me. Just kind of having my own family here is really what got me through it. So my parents were obviously calling me and texting me every day, and I was I have everything that I could possibly need here in Fayetteville.
By the time training camp started at the end of July, Hare was fully back with the team and the training wheels were off. Even after an early injury in East Lansing that saw her get taken out of the game against Michigan State, Hare was able to break through the following game, scoring her first goal as an Arkansas Razorback.
It was just almost a sigh of relief of oh my gosh, I did it. I finally scored. They hit a missed clearance and it went right back to Tank, and I was running on the backside. I was wide open and I called for the ball. She played the most perfect ball in. It was the most perfect ball, and I was just don't mess it up.
Down and in! Arkansas gets the goal, their 4th of the match.
My parents were standing right behind the goal when it happened, and I saw them jump up and celebrate, and so it was really cool to see that.
It's a moment imprinted on Hare's memory, just like the scar on her neck.
It's taken me a while to kind of see it and use it as a source of confidence. Seeing it and using it as a reminder that I've been through a lot, and that using the things that I learned during that will only take me farther.
There's nothing like a high-leverage situation in SEC baseball. The bright lights, the screaming fans, it's a lot for any player, let alone a kid from Aptos, California. But Dave Van Horn knew early on that freshman Gabe Gackle was built for these moments.
Count, the pitch, swing and a miss, and we go to 10th.
That was unbelievable. I think Dallas was one of my favorite games of the year just because of the environment. But yeah, I came in and it was a tough situation. To be able to get myself out of it, or the team out of it, was really, that was really fun. And I'd say that was one of the most fun games I've pitched in this year.
It's been a year of adjustments for Gackel. A former starter in high school, he's learned how to become a weapon for the Hogs out of the bullpen, something he's never done before.
I play catch with Brady Taggart every day, and so he's kind of given me some points. He helped me with my changeup a lot earlier in the fall, which was good. And then having like Will McIntyre and Cody Frank and all these older guys who have done it for a while has been great for me, just to learn from them and kind of figure out a routine to get into while I'm in the bullpen to make sure I'm prepared.
That's not the only adjustment Gackel faced this year. The Ozarks are a far cry from the beaches of Northern California. Luckily, he has a former club ball teammate and freshman Hog catcher Ryder Helfrich here with him, and his parents, Kelly and Pete.
He's got 3 years of this opportunity to be able to go out and watch him, and if he's done with baseball at the end of 3 years, we'll never have this chance again. And if everything goes well and he gets to continue to play after college, we still probably wouldn't really have the opportunity to, have him in one spot where we could just sit down and watch him. So this just worked out really well.
It was a little scary for me because he's my youngest of 4 and the first kid that went far away from home. So my heart was pounding. I didn't like it, but it's lovely now. I wouldn't change it for anything.
It's nice to have familiar faces in the stands, cheering him on like they have his whole life.
I mean, he's really good at doing whatever's needed. I get more narrow-minded about stuff, and I'm like, you know what, he's been a starter, this is totally new, how's he going to adapt? And I mean, he's just resilient from that perspective, when he's asked to do something. So thank God I'm the one that's nervous, because he doesn't really have a confidence issue when it comes to stuff like that.
And a new group of teammates who believe in him.
Feels good, just anything to really help the team win. And so coming into the season, I didn't really care what role I was in. I just wanted to pitch for them. And so it's felt good to get in those games, especially when it's an SEC weekend. It's pretty fun pitching in front of all the fans.
From here on out, the lights only get brighter as postseason play is right around the corner for Gackel and the Hogs.